Good morning, Dennis. How are we feeling this week? Hopefully you've had an epic week so far. Sorry about my Dragon Ball Z hair. So I'm just getting ready for the gym, and I thought I'd jump on and tell you guys about Stressless Saturday. So basically today we're talking about the challenges you may face in traveling or whilst planning a holiday or even on holidays, whatever it may be. For those of you who know, next week we are taking some time off, some well-deserved time off. I'm taking a couple of weeks off to go to Europe, hopefully get my tan on, and just basically relax and mentally reset. So basically that will lead me straight into it. To begin with, usually you're going to have some sort of a plan that you're following right now, a certain amount of foods that you need to follow, whether it's a type of, I'll call it nutritional plan, like a intermittent fasting, or if you're just doing, if it fits your macros or whatever type of nutritional plan that you're following right now, you need to somehow work around that and to figure out a way you can continue doing that on holidays, as well as your physical activity. All of a sudden, where you're traveling or where you're going might not have a gym, so you still need to keep physically active, and that's what I'm going to be talking about today, how you actually overcome these challenges and how I've done it in the past and how it's worked out for me whilst traveling. So basically, leading straight into it, first of all, we'll start off with the nutrition. Most of the time on your plan, you have a certain amount of nutrition frequency. So you'll have, I eat at 8 o'clock, I eat at 9 o'clock, I eat at 10, whatever it may be. But then when you go overseas, you might not want to wake up at 7 o'clock in the morning or 8 o'clock in the morning. You might have had a big night, visited some family and just had a bit of a party or whatever it may be. You may have just gone to a club and just lost your mind, whatever tickles your fancy, really. So first of all, don't worry about the frequency of the nutrition, right? Ultimately, you're trying to aim for the calories. So I just want to bust that myth right then and there and say, it's not really about how frequently you eat. It's more trying to control your calories just along that holiday. So I'm just going to bust that out right then and there. Don't worry about it too much. I mean, if you're that concerned, just make sure you stick in with your staple. Every 3 or 4 hours, just either have a snack or, 2-3 big meals a day is fine, or depending on what your goals are. For example, when my goals are just to maintain my current weight, I'm not going to go for a ridiculous deficit while I'm on holidays, because the last thing I want to be doing is counting my calories or, watching what I eat and looking at food as good or bad. It's not what I want to be doing on holidays. A holiday is something that you want to be able to reset, and especially when you're traveling as well, like stuck in airports and stuck on buses and taxis, you really don't have that much available to you. So first of all, don't worry too much about nutrition frequency. Just stick to your staple 3, 4, 5, whatever meals it is that you can have, and just carry some snacks on you. Some light snacks, some nuts maybe, a bit of fruit, just stuff like that to get you throughout the day. So that's the first one covered. Secondly is I try and keep as active as I can on while traveling. So even if I'm at the airport, instead of sitting around and waiting at the lounge for 4 hours during a layover or whilst I'm traveling, I try and walk up and down the airport, have a look at some shops, obviously try and keep your credit cards or your saving cards locked down, but just walk around and have a look at what's available to you, just so that way you're physically moving. And that's just a simple example. Whilst traveling during you can actually be on holidays, so instead of maybe catching a cab to the nightclub or to a certain sightseeing activity, maybe just try and walk half the way, or walk on the way back, catch a cab there, walk the way back, or walk during the guide or wherever the attraction is. Just walk, keep yourself active. I mean, walking is a pretty basic function, and just getting your steps up, trying to hit those 10,000 steps a day will probably keep you active and keep your metabolism burning throughout the day. Other challenges that I've seen is trying to get my actual macros in. So if we remember from early episodes, macros are protein, carbs, and fats, and then micronutrients, I'll talk about that a little bit later on. So trying to get your actual macros in, where I'm trying to get 180 grams of protein, 400 grams of carbs, and 30 grams or 40 grams of fat, whatever it may be, don't worry about that too much. All your main focus is, most important focus is to have fun. Like, have fun. Just keep active and just get your meals in. Don't worry about worrying, is this meal going to have, 40 grams of protein, 50 grams of protein? That's not really that relevant. I mean, if you're traveling, even if you're traveling for 6 to 9 to 12 months, reach out and speak to me and give me those statistics. So then that way I can work around that and give you a plan on how you can mitigate those issues that you're planning on facing, the challenges really. So macronutrients covered. Don't worry about it. Eat until you think you're full. So now the way you can do that is chew your food slower. just take smaller bites, take a little bit longer to chew your food and process it, and just realistically use the technique that I gave you, the two hands technique. So your left hand would be a good source of food. So what I say in good source of food is your general macronutrients, so proteins, carbs, and fats. And then your right hand, you can use a cheat meal. So just to be safe, you could do your sugars and your bad fats and all that sort of stuff. I mean, I know I promote not to look at food as good and fat, but for this particular episode, I'll just reference the good foods as your clean macronutrients and your bad foods as your bad fats and your fast foods and all that high salt, high sugar intake sort of food. So just focus on that. More importantly, the 3 elements that I really want to stick after this episode is have fun, smile. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon. So if you're traveling for a month, that's okay. As long as you're cautious of what you're eating, trying to keep physically active, it's really not going to affect your overall end game. So if you're consciously trying to watch what you eat, make sure there's a gym, you're really not going to enjoy yourself. And traveling should not be about that. Traveling should be about mentally resetting yourself, having a great time, and just coming back. Like realistically, if you slide a little bit off the bandwagon, I'm here to personally give you a hand, reach out and say, hey, Dan, you know what? I've been traveling for a week or 2 weeks. I probably went a bit over my calories, and that's absolutely acceptable. That's completely fine because it's not a sprint. Like we're actually doing this for the long term, and we're maintaining our results, sustaining our results. Obviously, there's going to be incidences where we travel, whether it's international, national, local, whatever it may be. There is going to be times where we will travel. So don't be worried, guys, to have fun, to try as best as you can to just get your nutrition in. Make simple, logical judgments. So what by that, just make sure you understand that if you're used to eating 4 times a day small meals and you're eating 8 times a day small meals, there's going to be a little bit of a toll on your body. But if you're walking, 10 to 12 to 13,000 steps, it's really not going to be that important for you at that point in time. Just make sure when you come back, reach out and say, hey, Dan, these are the changes that happened while I was on holidays. So moving forward, I just want to be able to jump back on my plan, and you're pretty much good to go. So, guys, I'm going to keep this one nice and short and sweet. I know they're going a little bit longer, but I'm trying to get a little bit more value within the time that we have. So I'm hoping majority of these segments are answering questions that you guys have. And just thanks for reaching out for those of you who gave me some topics to talk about that will be coming in the upcoming weeks. So for those of you who signed up last week to the free session, I hope you guys enjoyed it. It was 30 minutes of epic value. So yet again, guys, I also want to say one more thing. It's Diabetes Awareness Week this week. And I did a post on Wednesday. So if you guys haven't seen it already, check it out on the Ask Dan segment. I've also put a post on Instagram and Facebook. If I could get you guys, it's really important to me. I have people with diabetes in my family. So if you guys could just like, share, and follow with the 2 hashtags, It's About Time and National Diabetes, so NDW 2018. And that basically shows Australia that we care. We know that it's out there and we're raising awareness. So guys, have a great weekend. Stay warm because it's absolutely freezing in Sydney. I'll catch you guys on Wednesday for the final Ask Dan. See ya.